Hey friends, in an ongoing series I should call Travel Cat Stuff That You Should Know. Today we're going to talk about rabies blood testing. Because recently, Mila had to get a rabies titer test, and I want to share the experience. Hello. So today we're going to talk about what a rabies blood test is, how you get one, why your travel cat might need one, how much it costs, our experience with getting one, and when and how to use the rabies blood test. You're an expensive being, did you know that? I got sidetracked, it's a few days later, which is why I'm wearing different clothes, but let's talk about rabies blood tests. A rabies blood test, also known as a rabies titer test, checks your cat's blood to make sure they've built up enough antibodies against rabies from the rabies vaccine. In simple terms, it proves that your cat is protected against rabies. Now, this is not the same as having a rabies vaccine certificate. Some countries want hard proof that the rabies vaccine actually worked, and that's where the titer test comes in. So, how do you get one? First, your cat must be microchipped and fully vaccinated against rabies. After that, you wait at least 30 days, and then you go to the vet, and then you find a vet who can draw their blood and send it to a government-approved lab for testing. Now, depending on the government, there are different labs that are approved to process the rabies titer test. So I highly recommend before you go to the vet, look online to make sure that their blood sample is going to the correct lab. After the test is done, it usually takes 2 to 4 weeks to get the results. Next, let's talk about why your travel cat might need a rabies titer test. Not every country requires a rabies blood test to enter. But if you're entering a rabies-free or really strictly controlled country, like the UK, Japan, Australia, or from certain countries, the European Union, you will need a rabies blood test to bring your cat. And if you skip it, that country could deny your cat entry, put them in forced quarantine, send them back to their origin country. So it's pretty important. Next, let's talk costs. The internet will quote you between $150 and $300 for a rabies titer test. Personal experience, our rabies titer test cost €150 plus €30 to sedate Mila, because our queen hates a veterinarian's office. So it's not cheap, but it is a requirement in certain travel situations. Next, let's talk about our experience with the rabies titer test. Mila and I are currently in Athens, Greece. In a couple of days, we are moving to Albania. Albania is classified as a high-risk rabies country by the European Union, meaning if we want to come back to Greece or go to Cyprus or Italy or Spain or anywhere within the European Union, when we leave Albania, we will have to have this rabies blood test. There are no approved labs in Albania, so when I reached out to a vet there, they told me to get the test done in Greece before I leave, to make sure that if I come back, got the titer test done, there will be no problems re-entering the European Union. So I called around to many vets here in Athens, and I found a really good one. I'm gonna put her contact information in the description. If anyone here is watching this in Athens and needs a vet, she is the best. So I set an appointment with her about 3 weeks ago, about a month or so before we were set to head to Albania. Went to the office to get Mila's blood drawn. Mila is a good and friendly cat, but she hates the vet. So when we get there, the vet is like, I have to take her blood, but she is feral. Clawing, screaming. I sprayed her bag with Feel Away Classics. I gave her a calming treat. Her paws were covered with those little paw cover things. And this cat, you would think I beat her, but at any rate, fully feral. There's no way that she can take the blood for Mila to get the test and not hurt her. So she had to be sedated, which was a wild experience. I've never seen her sedated. I nearly passed out. I don't do well in medical situations, and that really includes Mila as well. But they sedated her, they took her blood, and brought her home. She was totally fine. It was actually great because the vet was able to examine her, cut her nails, look at her teeth and everything, make sure she was healthy, which doesn't normally happen because Mila is so feral every time I go to the vet. So it actually turned out to be pretty good. A couple weeks later, the vet messaged me with our lab results, a PDF document that basically said that Mila has plenty of antibodies towards rabies, and we can comfortably leave the European Union and comfortably come back. And she's also supposed to send me some sort of certificate in a couple of days. She'll send me this by email because we likely will be in Albania by the time it comes. But I'll put that up on the screen here too, so that way you guys can see that. Maybe take a screenshot if that's something that you are looking to get from a vet as well. All in all, I paid her 180 euros, which is like 200 US dollars right now. We have the documentation that we need to re-enter the EU, and for that, I'm thankful. Finally, let's talk about when and how to use the rabies titer test. So again, in Mila and I's case, we got the rabies titer test done so we could re-enter the EU. Now it's important to note, according to the European Union standards, the rabies titer test has to be done at least 3 months before you plan on entering the European Union. Now this time frame can vary from country to country, so double check your government websites and standards to make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to get the rabies titer test done. Once your cat passes the rabies titer test, it will be valid until your rabies vaccine expires. So in Mila's case, her rabies vaccine expires in March, so our titer test will be good until March. Then she'll have to get revaccinated for rabies. They'll have to wait 30 days, get her the titer test again. If we're going to a high-risk rabies country, I don't know. And then those results will be good until the next rabies vaccine is out of date. Now, whether it's the rabies titer test, a health certificate, government documents, anything you have for your cats when you're crossing borders, make sure you're making lots of copies. Some airlines might require to have a copy on hand. Some governments might require an original. Always keep lots of copies on you though, just in case. But again, check the government standards for the country you are bringing your cat into to make sure you give yourself enough time to get the rabies vaccine and that you have all your bases covered. That's a little more about the rabies titer test. I know this is a departure from like our usual vloggy style videos, but I hope this is helpful to you if you're traveling with your pet. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm always happy to share any information that I learn. And at some point when Mila and I re-enter the EU, we will check back in on our rabies titer test experience. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you really soon. Bye. Say bye, Mila. Oh, she's a bullseye. Look at her. Oh, she's a perfect love bullseye. I love you.